may be seated. All right, our next speaker is going to be Rita. Rita, oh my goodness. There are so many things to say about Rita. Rita, okay, Rita, I mean, I don't know. Listen, she is an expert in health and wellness. She has a method called the change method. Anyone wants change? Is anyone looking for change? No, nobody's looking for change. Everyone wants to say the same. Anyone looking for change? Yes, absolutely. And so Rita's going to teach you exactly how to do that. She came all the way. Come here, Rita. Listen, can you guys please give it up to Rita? Here, give me that. Take a photo. Rita, yes, take your photo. Pose, girl. Woo! Look at Rita. And we cannot give a shout out to Rita. Yes, there you go. Woo! You can't give a shout out to Rita without giving a shout out to her amazing husband, who you can't say hubby, you have to say husband, right? He's her husband, and he is here to support Rita, his beautiful wife, but also he's here to support each and every woman that's here on International Women's Day. It's so you're amazing. You and your husband are amazing. You guys, they sit back there where where we see the other couple. They always sit together in the corner. They took the spot.
I know, right?
Yes, it is a couple's table. I love it. But I want you to grab a pen, grab a paper, take some copious notes, because Rita is an expert in her field. And what she's getting ready to share with you right now, some of the things she hasn't shared anywhere but here on the WYN conference, sponsored by Global Women Speakers. Shruti, can you guys give Shruti a round of applause? Please give Shruti a round of applause. Give Shri a round of applause. And what about our photographer who is everywhere? Yes, let's give our photographer a round. Matter of fact, let's just give, no, I'm kidding. Okay, let's just give Rita the mic. How's about that? There you go, over to you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. All right, let's first of all make sure we don't trip over this thing. So look, it's lovely to be here, and I'm so excited. And my name's Rita. Thank you, thank you. And I run the Health and Fitness Coach, and we work with women 40 plus in terms of getting to grips with their health, their body, their weight, but it all comes from the inside. And my story really started when I had my first child many, many years ago. And I put on 70 pounds in weight. 70 pounds. It was a lot. I did not look like this. And I went everywhere trying to find resources, diets, fitness programs. How could I get to grips with this weight? Because I looked in the mirror and I was so disconnected with what I saw. There was this body that didn't suit the woman that I thought I should be. And as I went through diet after diet after diet with nothing sticking, I realized it was because I was focusing on the problem of weight. And weight is a problem that billions of women share across the globe, but the pain behind that is unique to every single one. And for me, it was isolation. I was a new mother. I had a baby who couldn't latch. If you've ever had children and breastfed, I was bleeding. I was afraid of actually picking up my child. He wouldn't sleep. I was trying to run a business. I thought my husband's not going to find me attractive anymore. I don't understand who I am. And I retreated. And in that retreat, I felt so uncomfortable that I tried to distract. And that distraction was cookies for the Americans in the room, biscuits to us, chips, crisps, wine, tequila on occasion, not when I was breastfeeding. So there was a lot that I used to distract, and those distractions manifested in weight. And it was at this point that I realized something had to change for women across the globe. So let's get real about the number of responsibilities that we have as women in this room. Who in this room owns or runs the business? Hands up. All right, a lot of people. Who in this room manages staff or clients? All right, quite a lot of people again. Who is progressing a career or a project, a book, something along those lines? Okay, a lot again. Who has kids in this room? Who has a partner in this room? Hands up, hands up. All right. Who maybe has other family that need you, people that dependent on you, friends, right? Who has friends that need you? Who has pets? We have 2 girls. Yeah, two little cats. I have 3 boys, so I needed some more estrogen in the house. Who has a house or an apartment with hoovering, cleaning, tidying, right? Okay, and who has bills to pay, right? Okay, I'm seeing pretty much the whole room put your hands up on every single one. And that doesn't cover half of what we do. So with all of these responsibilities, then tell me, hands up if you're busy. Hands up if you are a busy woman. Okay, that's a lot of people. Hands up if sometimes you feel like you have no time. No time for you, no time for your own self-care. So this is where we tend to then get distracted in what we're trying to do for ourselves. And I call these the 4 dimensions. So the 4 dimensions, the outer dimension is called distraction. Now, this is where, unfortunately, a lot of us live a lot of the time. And distraction is the realm where what we're doing doesn't serve us, nor does it serve anybody else. And there's nothing wrong with a bit of distraction. I love Vogue. I like a bit of Cosmo magazine. I like a bit of Game of Thrones. But we often live in the realm of distraction in order to relieve ourselves of the stress of day to day. And this is where we find ourselves going, right, I'm stressed, I'm overwhelmed, I'm scared. What can I do? Ooh, where's the Kit Kat? Where's the tequila? Where's the Pinot Grigio? Where's the cigarette? Where's all of these different things that we use to numb ourselves from the overwhelm? So when we live in distraction, that's fine. There is nothing wrong with a little bit of it, but too much of it, if you're spending 50% of your time distracting, using food or drink or magazines or social media, Facebook, Instagram, these are big distractions. If we're spending too much time here, then we know that something needs to change. The next realm, delusion. Now, this is the realm of women, unfortunately, because we delude ourselves that the dishes are important. Now, delusion is the realm where what we think we're doing is important. It isn't, but we feel it's urgent. Right, the kid's birthday party. I must do it right now. I must have the balloons. Sorry. I must have the balloons, the streamers. I must have everything done now. The birthday isn't for another 4 months, but I must have it done now. The hoovering. There's a speck on the carpet. I must do it right now. It's important. It's urgent. It's my job. We spend so much time deluding ourselves that these things matter. Yes, I like a clean home as much as anyone. However, we have 3 boys, so I'm deluding myself that that will ever happen. We live in delusion. And again, we're just spending our time, our energy, our units of energy, and we have 24 of them in a day, on things that don't really serve us. Next zone, demand. Now, all of you probably, 99% of you at some point live in demand. And demand is where everything is urgent and important. Now, yes, there are certain things. You get a phone call, your kid's broken his leg. That's urgent and it's important. But how often are you in the middle of deep work, truly important work, and someone comes in and says, we have a problem. Okay, I'm on it, right? And you distract from your really deep, important work by somebody else's urgency. You deal with it. It's not my problem. You go away. You figure it out. Demand is where so many people in work, in business, in company life live, because we're constantly reacting. The phone calls, I must answer it now. The notification things, I must respond now. That's this demand where we feel that what we're doing is constantly urgent and important. And because we spend so much time there in demand, the rest of the time we spend distracting ourselves. I'm so stressed. I got no work done. I better go and eat. Where's the vending machine? Give me 5 minutes. And where we really want to spend our time is the zone. And the zone is where everything we're doing is important and none of it is urgent. And this is where we need to start living now. Because in the zone, imagine if every single one of you and me, because I put on an awful lot of weight. Imagine if I'd have looked after my body when it was important, not when it was urgent. When I said, I'm going to exercise because I want to, not because I have to. I'm going to eat well and drink water and look after myself because I want to care for my body before I put that 70 pounds on. If we did everything that was important before it became urgent, stress, pressure, overwhelm would be gone. We would actually be able to care for ourselves and prevent the problem of weight and ill health ever occurring. So today, I'm here to talk to you about my 6 steps of change. So this is my system that I developed, essentially that I use in every single one of my programs with the women that I work with. And the women that I work with, 40 plus, they have a lot going on in their lives. They're very successful. They have kids, they have the house, they have the finances. And unfortunately, they haven't dealt with their body whilst it was important. So what are the 6 steps? The first step, C, conscious choice. We live our life reacting. And I'm not the first woman on this stage to say that today. We live our life reacting. I'm stressed, I'll eat. I'm overwhelmed, I'll drink. I need to breathe, I'll grab a cigarette. We spend our life in this automatic way of dealing with our feelings. And what we need to do is stop and make a conscious choice. Just like Carolina and just like Karen up here on the screen. Both of them were eating in a complete, they didn't even realize they were doing it. How many of you have ever gone through a packet of chips or crisps to us in the UK and gone, oh, they're gone. I don't even remember eating them. Yeah? Or sat in front of Netflix at night with the cookies, the biscuits, the popcorn, and gone, oh, I've just watched an hour's show and eaten all this food and I can't even remember because we're just reacting. So the first step is always to stop, think, and even if you're going to continue with that action, make sure it's a choice, not a reaction. The second step, and I think following on from EQ, we all feel a little bit more resonance with this. How do I feel? Because a lot of the time we try and run away from our feelings. We tend to label them positive or negative. But there's no such thing. All feelings are simply messengers. Feelings are telling you something is happening in this moment, your body is responding, and you need to do something. Pain's a feeling, right? Pain. How many people have ever, hands up if you've ever burnt yourself? But just, okay, every single one. So you know the feeling. And a lot of you, it might have been on the stove, getting something out the oven, who knows? But in that moment, that pain is a feeling, right? Because feeling, we tend to think of as completely mental. It isn't. Feelings start in the body. When you feel anxious, the first place you feel it, here. When you feel angry, frustrated, the first place you tend to feel it is here. But we are so disconnected from our bodies that we can't identify those feelings. But feelings are messengers, just like the pain you feel when you all burnt yourself. Touch the stove, move your hand. It's a messenger saying, don't do that, right? Not such a good idea. So that messenger isn't there as a negative, it's there to help you, to teach you, to understand, if I feel like this, how do I then deal with it in a way that I don't need to numb or distract? So the second step is always identify in that moment, how do I feel? Oftentimes it might be stress, but oftentimes, and I'm guilty of this, is boredom. I'm bored. Right, I'll go to the cupboard and find some food because I'm bored. But there are many, many ways to deal with that feeling if I just took a step to notice what it is that's driving me to eat or drink or whatever the momentary distraction might be. Next is action. So we as human beings don't like being uncomfortable. We like to make everything feel nice. So we use words and language to try and soften. Oh, I remember saying this when I was at my 70 pounds overweight. I'm just a little bit overweight. I'd put on a whole nother person, right? I'm just a little bit overweight. It's just, it's my winter insulation. I remember using that phrase. We tend to use words to make ourselves feel better about the situation. When I made an absolute, as we say in the UK, balls up at work, I'm like, oh, it's just a little bit of a problem. It's fine. The whole system's gone down. It's fine. It's fine. Right? Somebody asks you, how are you? I'm fine. I'm stressed. I haven't slept in 5 days, but I'm fine. Okay, so we'd like to make ourselves feel better because uncomfortable is not a natural state of being, but growth only happens when we're uncomfortable, right? Being comfortable is the death rattle. If you are comfortable, nothing will change, ever. Whether it's your body, your business, your relationship, nothing will change. So we have to own the action. If I'm about to, and I've had this before, if I'm about to reach for the corkscrew for the 3rd bottle of wine, rather than saying, oh, it's a Saturday, that's fine, I'm just getting a little bit tipsy whilst I can't walk straight, own it. I'm about to drink my 3rd bottle of wine. I'm about to drink enough for 10 people. I'm about to obliterate my brain cells with alcohol. Own it, right? If that's how I feel, at least I'm being honest with myself. So action. Own up to what you're doing. Stop trying to make yourself feel comfortable because nothing will change in that moment. Need. So this originally came from Maslow. Tony Robbins has a version. Millions of coaches have a version. I talk about change. So mine is the 6 C's of need. And every action that we take is based on a need that we are trying to fulfill. So when we are reaching for the food, let's say I'll give you Abby here on the screen. So Abby would sit at one end of the sofa at the end of the night, and her husband would be here. They'd both be on their phones, scrolling through some sort of social media, and she would go to the kitchen and find food. She'd find a way to fulfill a need, and for her, it was connection. She had a husband that she'd been married to for years, and she was so disconnected, felt so unloved in those moments that the only way she could be connected was to find food and solace in the bottom of a bucket of chips. So for her, connection was driving her to eat. For a lot of us, certainty. We need certainty in our lives, especially now. Everything's uncertain, right? We don't know what's happening. So we look for safety and security and certainty. And I am certain that if I eat a Kit Kat, I'll feel good. For a second, I'm certain, right? For a second, I'll feel good. Maybe I'm bored, right? Go back to the H step, I'm bored. I'm inputting data every single second of the day, and I hate my job. I'm bored. What am I looking for? I'm probably looking for the next one down, creativity. Right, if I go and have that 3-layered, double-decker, crunchy, salted caramel, chocolate-covered thing in a wrapper, oh, that feels a bit different. That's more interesting than maths. So every single thing that we do is driven by one of these. It's always driven by one, and we have to be able to identify which one is driving the action in that moment. And then the action that we named, is it serving your goal? Because the goal is not to lose weight. I know that sounds strange coming from a weight loss coach. The goal is not to lose weight. The goal is to have a body that allows you to do anything that you want. To be able to go into a meeting and feel empowered, to be able to climb that mountain and feel like, yes, I've done that and my body did not limit me. To have energy, to have the vitality to live the life that you truly want to live. And is this action serving that? Probably not. So the last step, E, empowering alternative. Now, Emma here, she used to be a smoker. She used to smoke 20 a day. And when you smoke, you take a big drag and you breathe deeply. Your diaphragm opens and you relax for a second. And she quit smoking. So what did she do? She didn't have an empowering alternative. She turned to binge eating, because when we binge eat, we eat a lot of food, the blood goes to our stomach, our diaphragm opens, we breathe deeply, and guess what? We relax. So eating an awful lot of food has the exact same effect on your body as smoking. We don't really want either of those. So we needed an empowering alternative for her. It was heading out into the garden, finding her favorite spot right underneath her shady apple tree, and taking a big, deep breath. That served her goal. That served what she was looking to do. But if we don't have an empowering alternative that A, fulfills the need that we were trying to fulfill in the first place, and B, fits in with the context, you know, she's got 5 minutes to eat or smoke. I can't really send her down the road to the local park. She needs something that fulfills the need in the same context. If we have that empowering alternative, then we can use it to never need to go back to the old habit. Make sure, because if you do not have an alternative, the old habit, I guarantee, will creep back. This is really important. So what I want everyone to do is think about, if your body was changed, right, not just in terms of weight, but if your body had the energy, the vitality, the love, the life, the beauty, the acceptance to do anything that you wanted, because the body is the engine of the mind, where would you be in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years? How would your life look different? Now, I'm really hoping that Paul might be able to bring this board up for me, because I just want to take you through a very, very short little step, because I've been looking at everybody, right? As I do. And what I mean is posture. So over the last couple of days, we have sat down a lot, and I've been seeing this happen. I promise I'll finish, I promise. And I've been seeing this happen an awful lot, right? And so I really think it's important that we all just understand how we are sitting for the remainder of today and how that's going to have an effect on the focus that you have. So hopefully, all right, so let's take, I don't know, Vanessa, right? This random hypothetical. Let's take Vanessa over here. Vanessa's really, really happy, okay? So she has what we call an S-spine. So an S-spine is when we're in perfect alignment. She's got amazing alignment in her body. Everything's flowing, everything's working. She has no pain. She has no structural difficulties. She's in perfect alignment. She's happy. Let's take Judy. Judy over here, right? Judy has a C-spine. So Judy is curved, she's hunched, she's in pain, right? Judy also has what we call pancake ass, because everything's just flat and move like this. So over here, this is what our spine should look like. It should have perfect alignment between discs in every single way. There's no pain here. Over here, what's happening is our discs, everything's being pinched because it's coming in. So we end up with lower back pain. We end up with difficulties in everything that we're doing. So what we want to do is create this. So to finish off, everybody up, everybody on your feet.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So what I want everyone to do is, this is where you see how absolutely kitschy I am. Right, everyone, feet on the floor, grounded underneath your hips, all right? And I want you to just feel where your balance is. Is it on the sides of your feet? Is it on the insides? Is it on the balls? Is it on the heels? Where is the balance? And then what I want you to do is simply 2 moves. The first is we're going to open and expand. So I want you to open and come back together. And as you open, really feel the squeeze between the shoulder blade. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Better than sex. And squeeze. And in. And one more, squeeze. And in. And then I just realized I said that with my husband in the room. And then what we want to do is we want to rotate. So we're just going to come around, but keep your hips facing forward. So hips face forward, we rotate and we rotate. Make sure those hips stay forward. And these two moves, if you just do them for 30 seconds each, will just bring that spine back into alignment and help get you into that S-spine moment, right? So to finish off, because I promise this is the very last bit, I want you to all shake it out, really shake it out. Oh yeah, bit of twerking, right? Shake it out. And then I want you to make a move that makes you feel damn unstoppable. A move, whether it's hands on hip, whether it's up high, but make a move that makes you feel unstoppable in this moment. That's what your body is for. That's what it's for. Thanks so much. I really appreciate that. Well, without my shoes on? Okay. You want my there we go. So thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate that. And I'll just move this. So there we go. Because I've got the QR code. So if anyone wants a free body diagnosis call, feel free to use the QR code. So it's just a free call where we just go over the aches, the pains, the difficulties that you're struggling with in your body. And we just look at very, very simple things that we can do for you to get back into alignment. So if you need that, let me know.
I have a suggestion. Instead of just waiting and booking a call, she's here now. And what I do know is that once she gets home and when she gets in her work mode, that call is going to be a little bit different. So what I would love for you to do is take advantage of it now. Ladies, we are here to network. We are here to meet women from all over the world. And I know for a fact that each of us need the QR code because all of us, I mean, we are overworked, even though we are not aware, right? Do anyone believe that they're overworked when you're stretching, when you're like, oh, I didn't realize that felt like that? Anyone? Or was everyone like, oh, I always do this. My body is aligned. No, exactly. I heard people go, oh, ooh, yeah, that feels good. And so take advantage of Rita right now, you guys. She is an expert. I can tell you this weekend, I say this weekend, but this last 2 days, this stage has been embraced with nothing but experts in their field, in their disciplines, and in their industry. If I don't know anything else, I know that you must have collaboration. You must have network, because I have a saying called NODIA, N-O-D-I-A. Write that down. I don't see you guys writing. N-O-D-I-A. No one does it alone. No one does it alone. And I know for a fact we all need coaches and mentors and experts like Rita. So Rita, thank you so much for your contribution.